I would like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land on which I work, live and have filmed this project, the Noongar Boodja. Collie is a small town 2.5 hours drive south of Perth, Western Australia. For 6 years I worked in Bunbury, a southwest town 45 minutes away on the coast and 2 hours south of Perth, before moving to Geraldton, a midwest town 5 hours drive north of Perth. During those years I worked as a senior child protection worker for the department. I was disappointed at the high percentage of Aboriginal families in my clientele and strived to come alongside the families I worked with. In December last year I commenced extended long service leave and moved to Collie with my husband to help grow the family winery. I am new in town, have very little connection to the community groups and services due to not currently working in a community service position, and thus found the idea of this task quite daunting. However, it did give me the chance to try and learn a little about my community, particularly the traditional owners. Welcome to Collie. As you first enter Collie, the visitor centre greets you. The coal was discovered in Collie less than 150 years ago, and mining has become the main face of Collie and its infrastructure. It is lucky enough to have the Bibbulmun Track run through it as well as a number of waterways, specifically the Collie River, both of which have significance to the Noongar Boodja people. The Bibbulmun Track extends from Perth all the way down the south coast to Albany and was named in the 1970s for a Noongar group from the southwest who journeyed on foot over distances to care and to celebrate their land. The Waggle, a Dreamtime serpent, created the landscapes and the rivers of the southwest, and the symbol is used along the Bibbulmun to guide your walk. My backyard boundary is the Collie River, a beautiful freshwater river. From its headwaters northeast of the Collie town site, the Collie River flows westward for 154 kilometres through the shires of Collie, Dardanup and Harvey and the city of Bunbury before discharge into the Leschenault Estuary. Waterways in the southwest have long played an important role in the lives of the Noongar people. Their connection to the Collie River occurs in a variety of contexts, including mythological, spiritual, and as a source of food and water for subsistence and recreation. Many waterways provide water and food resources for Aboriginal people, as well as places of spiritual and cultural significance for which custodial responsibilities are still being recognised. Some Noongar Boodja describe a spiritual connection to the river, but not one stemming from the mythological story of the Collie River. They describe a connection to the water itself, rather than the Waggle that resides in the water. Their connection is born out of a deep respect for the river, as both an entity and a provider. To demonstrate their respect, each visit to the river begins with the tossing of a handful of dirt into the river. This lets the river know we are present. A number of important sites along the waterways are no longer in use by the traditional owners. This is primarily due to the closure of permanent camps, the introduction of mining and private property, limiting access to the river. I guess my property is one of those. Every time I drive back to my home, I pass the Havas River Road Aboriginal Reserve, a special place full of memories and in our hearts forever. This land was granted to the Collie Native Welfare Committee in 1953. It was unusual at this time for Aboriginal people to be consulted about such projects, and the Harris River Reserve was one of the few Aboriginal reserves in WA developed by private citizens with input from local Aboriginal leaders. Today this reserve serves as a memorial to the lives and experiences of the Noongar people of Collie. It is a lasting memory of those families who shared a campfire, a laugh, a drink, and their tucker, not letting adversity defeat them.
Just past the Collie Visitor Centre as you enter town, you come to Reconciliation Park. It's a lovely little park. Driving through town, another side of town that I don't normally visit, I came across a community garden right in the middle of suburbia. And after seeing the rather western community garden, I discovered on the other side there's a trail and signposted the Australian Aboriginal garden. And here it is. Over here, turning, here we have the Western Community Garden. The Natuzia floribunda, or muja, known as the Australian Christmas tree, it's not flowering at the moment. According to Noongar beliefs, when a person dies, their spirit inhabits a Christmas tree. If the leaves were removed and taken into a dwelling, the spirit becomes trapped, so this practice was forbidden. The flowers, however, could be used as a decoration.
One of the things that strikes me in Collie is that the Noongar Aboriginal Council Corporation is very much involved in the community, ensuring the well-being of their people, and has a great amount of respect within the whole of the Collie community. It seems that the unusual consultation that occurred back in the 50s has really set up a precedence for ongoing consultation and collaboration in the Collie community. The Noongar Aboriginal Council Corporation set up the commercial marron farm in Collie in 2008 in partnership with Premier Coal, one of the major coal mining corporations, and the Aquaculture Council of WA. On a slightly more personal level, my mother-in-law, a lovely Scottish lady, has an amazing heart for the traditional people of this land and is not shy to have the difficult conversations about how we move forward in collaboration. Julie is involved in the Miller program. This is a program that was launched in 2014 at Collie Senior High School. The aim of the program is to explore Aboriginal students' passions, beliefs, both enabling and limiting, in the context of making positive choices about their future. Aboriginal students are highly encouraged to work on their personal vision, passion and goals through our experiential learning and attend talks delivered by inspiring speakers and role models. The program, which means in the future in Noongar, is the inaugural program of the Miller Foundation, with the primary sponsor, ISA Group, Julie's employer and one of Australia's leading specialists with a global presence in immigration, recruitment and human resources. Through sponsorship and donations, inspirational keynote speakers and mentors are commissioned to speak to participants and participate actively in their development. Julie works as a mentor within the high school, along with a young Aboriginal mentor. Currently, the program is aimed at young Aboriginal boys, but it is Julie's passion to extend this to young girls and women as well. Should I choose to remain in Collie on the winery, this is a project I'm excited to become involved in. As I drive to my workplace and wander the vineyard, I'm conscious that 15 years ago this was flat farmland, and before that, probably a part of the adjoining nature reserve forest. I'm also conscious that this land and the river and natural forest it is bounded by would have been rich places for food, water and experience. We still rely on the fresh water to supply our home and gardens, and these days we produce a different kind of food. I thank the Noongar Boodja for such a rich and fertile land, and I hope that my connection with the local people will only increase and that I'll have the opportunity to share this beautiful and fertile place.